My daughter was in the hospital. No one came from family. But 2 days later, Mom texted, "Can you help with your brother's honeymoon fund? $5,000 should do." I just cut them off. I watched the monitors blink slowly, like they weren't connected to a 4-year-old fighting for her breath. My daughter, Isla, had been in ICU for over a day. Pneumonia. Serious enough to keep us there, terrified and alone. I texted my mom, my dad, even my brother Jason the first night. No one responded. By morning, nothing. The nurse brought coffee. Isla stirred once, oxygen mask still on. I sat thinking, no one's coming. That gutted me. We weren't estranged. I called my mom every other week, helped my dad with paperwork, gave Jason $1,200 last month for his wedding venue. Didn't ask for it back. 2 full days passed. Then my phone buzzed. Mom's text. "Can you help with your brother's honeymoon fund? $5,000 should do." I stared until the screen went dim, then turned off my phone. That night, I made a decision. If they couldn't show up for my daughter, they weren't family anymore. Blocked my mom, blocked Jason. Disappeared from their world the way they disappeared from mine. The next morning, my dad called 16 times before 9 a.m. On the 16th, I answered. He started yelling. Said they needed my social security number for a loan. When I asked why, he didn't pause. Jason's honeymoon resort had deposit issues. Credit cards maxed. Since I had better credit, he'd use mine for a small personal loan, like it was normal. I sat in that hospital chair with Isla hooked to IVs and listened to my father explain how he tried to use my identity to send my brother to Maui. He hadn't called to check on Isla, just wanted my name and credit for the golden child. I hung up. 30 seconds later, text from an unknown number. My dad using my mom's phone. "Don't overreact, it's family." Then Jason called. His wife left a voicemail about how this was stressing everyone out, and if I cared about family, I'd help. That's when it clicked. They never saw Isla as family. I was the backup plan, the extra card in their hand. I called my grandparents. We used to be close before my parents drifted. I told them everything. Within 2 hours, my grandpa walked into that ICU room with hot lunch. My grandma brought a stuffed dog she said Isla loved as a baby. They stayed all afternoon, sat with me when I cried for the first time in 3 days. My phone kept buzzing. I ignored every call until I got an email from a loan provider. My application had been denied due to suspicious duplicate attempts. They'd already tried, filled out a loan in my name, and when it got flagged, called me to fix it. They hadn't just abandoned my daughter. They tried to commit fraud. Still hadn't sent a card for Isla. I sent my mom a photo of Isla sleeping. "You will never know her again." They thought I was bluffing. Isla got stronger. Fever broke. Breathing normalized. Every day, my grandparents showed up. Meanwhile, my parents spiraled. My grandma told me the house they lived in belonged to her and my grandpa. They'd let my parents live there rent-free. My parents told people I helped cover the mortgage. I'd never paid a cent. When I removed myself, everything collapsed. Then the hospital called. Someone tried to update Isla's billing address to my parents' home, claiming to be me. They slipped and said, "My granddaughter," when referencing my daughter. Fraudulent insurance claim attempt. I called a lawyer, locked down my credit, flagged all medical records. I sent a certified letter to my grandparents' lawyer with screenshots, voicemails, and the hospital report. My grandparents took full control of the house, and I found out something else. That house had been quietly transferred to my name 2 years ago. My grandparents never told me. I gave them 30 days to vacate. Jason called screaming. His wife texted, "You're evil." My mom texted not to say sorry, not to ask about Isla, but to beg me to reconsider punishing them for a misunderstanding. They showed up at my grandparents' house unannounced. My dad walked right past Isla playing with chalk. Didn't say a word. My grandpa told them to leave. They didn't. My grandma came out with a manila envelope. Inside, copies of every debt they'd taken in my name, plus the house transfer statement. She said one sentence I wasn't close enough to hear, and it shut them up cold. They turned and walked off. The next morning, my grandma made pancakes. After breakfast, she handed me a folder. New estate documents. Everything going to me and Isla. Later that day, they showed up again. My grandpa handed my mom a letter. Official removal from the estate. Jason yelled about betrayal. My grandma said, "You turned your back on Irene and Isla when they needed you. You lost your place here." Then she closed the door. They didn't call again, didn't show up for holidays, but my grandparents did. They bring groceries, help with homework, sit on the porch while Isla plays. This is our family now. And honestly, it's all we ever needed.